Good afternoon. It's a beautiful Sunday. The temperature, according to Jefferson, is 52 degrees, which sounds pretty chilly. And though the sky is just blue in every direction, the humidity is 76%, and the wind is 11.1 mile an hour. And I can hear it building now, so I don't know if it'll affect your ability to hear me. You probably know enough about how the House and the Senate and Congress organize for a vote. Now, when I was chief of staff in one office, if a vote came up that we were particularly interested in, we divided those who were going to be in the chambers voting into three groups. Those who were for the bill, no need to talk to them. Those who were against the bill, and you could not change their mind, so you didn't want to stir them up. And then those in between. Now, sometimes by looking at that number, you would say there's no whipping to be had, meaning to encourage someone to support the bill. Indifferent people at the moment of the day or the 2 days before a vote who haven't decided. And so you'd talk to their staff or you'd talk to the member of Congress to organize that. Now, I mention all of this not as a lesson in how a bill really becomes law, but a statement early this morning. Well, I don't know if it was early this morning, but there was a statement by Tim Kaine, the senator from Virginia, and he said something that was startling to me. And I thought a preference for a self-serving policy, given his recent vote in which he sided with 7 other senators to end the government closure, to bring everybody back to work. And among the reasons he said was because there were people on furlough and he wanted them to have their jobs. But you see, that was the problem with what we had. There are many people who were going to suffer if the government was closed. And if you couldn't persuade the government to change its mind before you reopened, people were going to continue to suffer, including those who have to pay premiums under the Affordable Care Act so that they could be, treated by a doctor. And the number was so large, 23 million, that statisticians said there was a certainty that people who couldn't afford would go without, and some of them, for the lack of the medicine or the surgical procedure or whatever else was needed in treatment, would die. And so that was part of the vote. Also, the SNAP program was a question. Are people going to be able to eat? But the argument was, if you go back to Congress and you open it up and work, then the normal procedure of paying will continue. Well, that remains to be seen. I don't know the most recent report. But this all leads to the following question. Where was Schumer? Now, Schumer, as the minority leader in the Senate, is responsible for organizing the strategy for the party out of power, the Democrats. And it is his job to lead, to bring people to a position where they can assert that they're representing their constituency and they're making a difference for the better, and they're only delaying the government because there's going to be so much hurt, pain, and death if they don't. And for a part of the time, Schumer did keep the senators in support of that policy. But on the crucial vote, he apparently said to the senators they could vote their conscience. That's not leadership. And to me, that's Wall Street talking. And Wall Street talking to anyone who voted to open, when our concerns were best served by continuing the fight at a time when we'd had a 7 million person rally and tremendous victories in the ballot box. But we didn't do it. And some say Schumer should go, and I think so. But what Tim said this morning was, well, he's my leader, but I can make up my own mind. Whoa. In the House especially, when I worked on the House side, I would attend these whip meetings. They didn't say, let's embarrass so-and-so with some personal problem. We didn't, when I say we, I didn't have the authority to do it, but they never had a program to lean on someone for reasons other than the merits of the case. And Dick Gephardt was the leader at that time. This is before Nancy. And I never heard a word of any kind of, defamation to encourage somebody to vote one way or another. The more likely way to vote is who in your district will be hurt, why you should be for it, facts, figures, numbers, and then the organizations and past votes people have been involved in. So when I hear Tim Kaine say it's okay for Schumer to let the senators vote without being encouraged to do otherwise, then you're telling me that you endorse a leadership without power or persuasion to get things done for the people. Both of you should leave. That's right, Tim should leave and so should Schumer, if that's what you think government's about. Because government is also about listening to the people, and the people overwhelmingly did not want to go back to work until we resolved those who receive who pay premiums under the Affordable Care Act. So that's our problem. And here's the other one. The other one is they say, well, in December, we're going to have a vote in the second week of December. Thune promised us. Yeah, but A, will it pass? And B, there's no obligation for the House to do anything. And we'll have to wait and see if they're prepared to do it. The other thing is the Republicans all say, we got a plan. Yeah, it's a secret plan. It's in my breast pocket, and it's never coming out because I've been talking about this secret plan since 2012, when I was a candidate, Trump might say, and he doesn't have one. So that brings us full circle to Epstein. And Epstein has thrown the whole game off course for Trump and the Republicans appear to be adjusting. How that's going to end, I'm not sure. But Trump seems more desperate. He's a man in pain, tortured between his public pretense of principles and the lies he tells to conceal the truth, to misdirect us so we wouldn't think about it. But how can we not think about it? The whole nation's thinking about it. In political classes and history classes for a generation to come, people will be scratching their head about the differences between MAGA and other issues and this one. So it's not enough for MAGA anymore to treat Trump as kind of a faux Jesus and Moses all rolled into one, because his mask has slipped. And it's slipped on his own contradictions. Now, contradictions happen with Trump. He tells lie one, then he has to tell lie two to get him through the next patch of difficulty. So he has taken on the mask of a painted shit brown orange face to conceal the truth he must know, which is why he's tortured. I can't believe these things are so simple that he's so dumb that he doesn't know what's going on. And when they ask me, why do you think he's doing it? Because it's going to humiliate him. I don't know if it's going to show us he's gay, or he abused children in a special way, or he helped Epstein himself, all of these things. And the fact that they're calling out for others to be scrutinized, fine. If you find something wrong with them, then they should be punished. What's wrong with being consistent in matters of law and fact? I don't know. So now Trump is caught in a corner, and he says he's acting on prices higher because of tariffs that lined his corrupt portfolio from his presidential protection racket. Why is he doing that? He's looking to get support that he doesn't deserve for things he probably won't do. He's chasing a war in South America. I don't know if the senator is going to push back. Rand Paul probably will. Maybe Tim Kaine, whom I just criticized. He's been consistent on this issue. And then we have Trump abuses citizens who are Hispanic, and the children as well. And DHS is therefore not combating terrorism, smuggling, child exploitation. Their legislative mandate has fallen by the wayside to serve the bigotry and strategy of an unpopular president to hang on to his office because he is in danger of becoming a lame duck president, meaning since he can't succeed himself, he's done such a miserable job that he couldn't run again, and so he won't be taken as seriously. And resolutions like the one in the House to vote up or down on the problem involving Epstein, there'll be more of those. Now, I mean, what kind of a nation says, if you're fat, we won't give you a visa to come into our country? You know, this is the BS BMI exclusion factor, and we can thank the worthless Secretary of State, how he has that name, or thinks he's going to replace Trump, because they must be having mixed feelings about that. Let's talk for a moment about Alejandro Carranza. He's from Colombia. He told his daughter he was going to go fishing for marlin and tuna. And after a period of days, he didn't return. He never returned. He never will return, because the U.S. military killed him. He was fishing. He was a fisherman. He is dead. Because we have an ignoramus and a civil rights violator and an arrogant, careless man who thinks nothing of life or death for anybody, particularly if their skin is not lily white, they come from the right clubs, and they're male. That's it. And of course, it's the USS Ford that's sizing up Venezuela for an armed attack. Congress, are you going to protest it? Are you going to object? I suppose so. Is he going to go through with it? Say, oh, he'll never do it. Well, I think he will. If he thinks it will help him deal with Epstein and to gather back his base, except his base doesn't want foreign adventurism, if you can believe in their consistency. So we got a president who'd like to go to Venezuela because, remember, he's drill baby drill, and that's what this is about. So there's a drift, despite the insanity of the ghoul in the West Wing against Trump. He's being ridiculed more. He's being resisted more. He's being taken on more. Have we won yet? Well, maybe one shoulder is pinned to the canvas, but we need both down in a chokehold to end this. Speaking metaphorically, gang. I don't think I get my hands around his fat neck. He couldn't get in our country on the visa. So, well, and you know, people don't understand what life and illness can do to you. People who are seemingly obese have conditions that dictate that, and they live with it. And to make our discrimination based on what? A Hollywood effect to an incoming migrant? Really? Is that what we're about? Well, with Trump, you can't tell. He changes day to day, whatever he thinks works. Nothing up here, nothing up here, nothing up here. Okay, so I say good evening to you from the Cathedral of Trees. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.